Hello, everybody. Welcome to Crazy Jelly Commentaries. My name is Ted Jelly Lord, and this is my co-host Crazy Armor, and we are playing Sonic the Hedgehog 1 for the SEGA Genesis. Except it's not for the SEGA Genesis; it's on Steam because this is Sonic Origins.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that was long-winded. Yeah, so first commentary. It's pretty exciting.
Oh, you're actually showing the menu here. That's good. I never thought to do that. I just kind of went straight into it.
Yeah, I figured that we wouldn't do it for the later games, but I wanted to show off the features that Sonic Origins does have, which is basically just 3D Sonic Forces models. Also, the frame rate here kind of chugs for some reason.
Yeah, I know. That's weird.
Don't worry about that. But yeah, basically, Sonic Origins just basically adds a menu that has accurate depictions of the islands from all the classic Sonic games, plus Spinball and 3D Blast, even though those aren't part of Sonic Origins. But yeah, these are remasters for all modern consoles, and they're not the best, but they're okay. They have these animated cutscenes, which are cool.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with this collection overall. It has its issues, but it's, I think, definitely a pretty good way to play the games. I found out recently that the menu music is from Sonic Jam, so I feel like I leveled up there.
Didn't know that?
No. I thought it was this cool new track, and I was like, alright, cool, I like this. It's nice.
Huh. Yeah, see, when I was young, I was kind of obsessed with Sonic on the Sega Saturn because, I couldn't have it on the Sega Saturn.
No one did.
Yeah. And, so I did all my research and I was like, oh, wow, Sonic Jam looks fucking awesome. It's like this retro 3D Sonic game that we never got, and I still want. But, yes, this is Sonic 1. The very first Sonic game, with added spin dash and drop dash, which were not in the original. But what are your overall thoughts of this one?
So, personally, I really like this one. I know a lot of people have problems with this, and a lot of it is jank from being, the first game in a series, but I still think it's an overall really solid game. There's a lot of complaints about the later zones being basic platforming levels, but I don't know, I still love them a lot. And maybe they've just grown on me, especially like Labyrinth Zone. But it is a pretty solid game.
Yeah, honestly, it's just a really, I think, fundamental 2D platformer, in my opinion. It's got the tight physics controls that we're all familiar with. But it's also got some nice platforming design. And these horrid things.
Yeah, this is just weird.
I'm puking already. This is
Hey, at least you didn't start with this on the Game Boy Advance. Good old Sonic Genesis.
I did play it as a kid on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, but you probably played it in other sources first. That's how I started.
Good
on
old
Sonic
Mega
1.
Collection.
To this day, the music still doesn't sound right unless it's from a GBA, I'll be honest.
That is probably the hottest take you will have. I'm calling it early. That's the hottest take you will have ever.
Hey, I still think it sounds better here. It sounds right in my head if I hear it from a GBA. Because I recently replayed it when I bought the game again, and I was like, this is nice. This is nostalgic. This is what I remember. It's so shit. There's no frame rate. It's bad. This is Sonic 1 as it's meant to be.
The physics are just absolutely broken, and there's slowdown in a game that's like at that point 15 years old. Yeah, it's good.
Also, you're blazing through Green Hill and it hurts me. I always play Green Hill really slowly and get every ring I can.
See, I play the rest of the game like that. I even kind of play like later Sonic 3 and Sonic Mania that way because I like to see numbers go up. It makes my brain happy. Also, yeah, I failed, but Sonic Origins lets you do that. So
see, when I recorded Sonic 3, I did not have the luxury of that, and you're gonna hate me for it, let me tell you.
Well,
we'll get to that when we get to that, but
You already knew I was gonna poke fun at how bad you play, so you know it's fine.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but I'm pretty good at Sonic games.
Oh, shut the fuck up! You know exactly what you're going for here. Quit showing off.
I'm just saying that I'm good at these games, and that's why I tear through them, because that's just skill, you know?
That's okay. I'll get to gloat when I play Halo 2. Whenever we get to that. However long it is.
12 years later. But, yeah, so what is your overall, I guess, experience with the Sonic franchise?
It's one I grew up on. So I started with Heroes. It was I think it's an underrated game, but we'll get to that when we can. I think after that I played either this game on the GBA or Sonic Unleashed. It was one of the two, but it just always stuck with me.
Yeah, and I started with Heroes, which, you know, we'll have our discussion about whether that's a good game or not later on.
The answer is yes, but continue.
Okay, but I'm kind of amazed that it caused me to just become absolutely obsessed with this franchise. Because I am absolutely obsessed with this franchise. It's my favorite game series, for better or worse. I even bad Sonic games, like quote unquote bad ones, I can still enjoy because I played them to death as a 10-year-old with nothing better to do. So,
see, my obsession with this series was weird because I had a weird relationship with the internet growing up. I never really... I would, like, Google stuff, but I never really researched a ton of things. So, like, I knew game titles, but I never looked up gameplay. You know, sometimes music would pop up on, like, YouTube, and I know it from that. But unless I actually played the game, I didn't really know a whole lot about it until much later, until I was, like, in high school. Like, until after I played 06 for the first time when I was, like, 14 or 15, I don't remember. So, I don't know, I avoided a lot of Sonic's reputation on the internet.
Which is good.
Yes, it is. I was ignorant of the Sonic cycle, and am happy for it.
Yeah, on the very early, like, not early days of the internet, because I was not alive during the early days of the internet, but during my personal early days of the internet, when my mom would let me use her computer, I would just look up cutscenes in Sonic Heroes because I couldn't beat the second level. And I wanted to see the story, so I looked up cutscenes for that game, and then I eventually found, like, Let's Play channels and stuff, and I discovered that the Sonic 3 is the best game ever made, apparently, so I have to play that. And yeah, I kind of got to grow up with all of Sonic games at once, because once I became obsessed with it, it was all I asked for like birthdays and Christmases. So I got like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 and like obviously the Mega Collection where I first played the classic games and stuff. And that was all around the time, you know, Sonic Unleashed was making the rounds, and I didn't even know that game existed until like the end of 2008. And of course I found like an ad for it in one of my other Sonic game manuals. I think it was All Stars Tennis. And it had just a screenshot of Sonic drifting. And it looked so good just from that one screenshot. I was like, I need Sonic Unleashed, Mom, please. And she bought it, and it was gonna be my Christmas present. But me and my brother found the GameStop bag, and we started playing it, and we got. I was grounded for like the rest of the year.
But did you keep it? Did you get to keep it at least?
I actually did. She was like, "Fine, you get to keep it. You've already played it anyways." So you know, I was very glad for that, even though I couldn't beat. I was really bad at video games as a kid. I couldn't beat the first Werehog level.
I have no idea how long it took me to beat Unleashed. I just remember Eggman Land being pain for the first time I played it. And
Yeah.
holy hell, that took me probably like a solid 3 months of itself.
By the time I actually decided I'm gonna beat Sonic Unleashed, it was around the time where it was like in my teens, after I had been a fan for years. I had still not beaten a single Sonic game at that point because I
Really?
just sucked that bad. Yeah, and at some point I was like, you know what, I gotta start beating these games because it wasn't my teens, it was like 11 or 12 when this happened, because that's around the time Sonic 4 came out, and I actually beat Sonic 4 and got all the Chaos Emeralds, and I was like, that was a really satisfying feeling to complete a game. I'm gonna do that for every Sonic game now. So I went back to all the games I already played and finally beat them, and I started with Heroes because, you know, obviously that was my first one. I wanted to get that over with. And then I did Unleashed, and so by that time I had gained some skills, so Eggman Land did not actually take me that long. And now I'm the Sonic Prodigy.
Alright. No.
Look, I'm gonna get the perfect 10,000 score bonus here.
Oh, everyone gets that. Shut up. I don't remember if I beat Unleashed or Heroes first, but it was one of those two as what I beat first. So I know I beat both before Colors, at least. Before I played Colors. Of course, I don't remember how close to the release I got either of those games, so who knows. I know I definitely didn't get Black Knight or Secret Rings till later, because I got those after Colors. But
yeah,
my history with Sonic's weird because it was just still me growing up, and frankly, when I was growing up, I had other things on my mind instead of Sonic.
I sure didn't.
Borderlands and COD, you know, like...
Oh yeah, the adult games, I got you.
Of course. The real games, you know, the games we're still playing, because they keep releasing a COD game every month. Good job, if you lose.
Yeah, for the physics in the Sonic Origins version of these special stages feels a little different to me. And
yeah, I think it was the one with the big room that I already completed. I had a lot of trouble with that one on this game. I have no idea why. Because normally I get that on like my first try. Yeah, I never have an issue with it, but it was weird.
I think that was Special Stage 3, but Special Stage 6 is another like big open room kind of deal, and that one I think in the original, if you don't press anything at the start, you'll instantly die. Yeah. But that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in the original. I think that's only in Origins. Which is, it's weird because I'm used to playing these special stages in a very specific way, and I've done that, you know, for as long as I can remember playing these games. So, I don't know. I have a very specific way I like to play each Sonic game. Sonic 1, you know, since it's more focused on the platforming than anything, and special stages are at the end of the stage, I just kind of bum rush while trying not to get hit. That's, you know, which makes sense because you need 50 rings to get the special stage to begin with. But then I do stuff like this, which is really risky.
Now, I know in the Taxman ports there is a 7th Emerald. Is that in this version?
I think that was accessed via the level select, and I think you can do the original Genesis level select code in this. But I don't know if they kept all the like extras, to be honest. I think I saw a tweet from like the social media manager the Sonic social media manager that was like, yeah, you can still access all that stuff, but I've never tested it. But I did play this a lot on my phone. Same with Sonic 2.
Everyone complains about it being mobile only, but like for Sonic games, touchscreen is fine. I know that's going to be a hot take, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just a 2D platformer. There's not many buttons. Like, as someone who tried playing Metroid Zero Mission on my phone as an emulator, like, Sonic is perfectly playable.
Yeah, it only uses one button other than the D-pad. It's like...
Yeah, try using the shoulder buttons while jumping and firing missiles in Metroid.
Yeah, you can't. You physically can't, because it's all...
Yeah, I couldn't be Mother Brain for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I beat Kraid.
My boss at my part-time job, he played these games as a kid on a Genesis, and he saw me playing Sonic 2 on my phone, and he was just enamored with the fact that I could do the touchscreen stuff. He was like, "Wow, how are you doing that?" It's like, well, it's not that different. You know,
you get used to it at least, but like I don't really. Of course, so I can't say that because I haven't played these games on mobile recently because I don't ever use my phone or I don't really play any games on the go. But yeah, at least when I played it when I was younger, it was perfectly fine, and I beat both games that way. So
yeah, I think they control good enough for that sort of control scheme. But anyways, I don't know if this is controversial, but this is my favorite stage in Sonic 1.
I don't think it's controversial, but you're wrong.
Well, what's your favorite stage then, huh?
Starlight.
Okay, well that's the easy pick. Starlight.
It has nice music. I'm sorry.
Easy pick. Yeah, this is my favorite song too, in the game.
You know, one of us needs to be more controversial. Labyrinth Zone. That's my favorite.
I did wish that Labyrinth Zone was in Mania. Just so we could get the Mania-ified version. Also, I have 666 coins.
I saw that and I was like, oh my, we summoning some demons here.
Yeah, we're summoning the Sonic fan base. What do you expect?
I gotta go to mass later now. Purify myself.
But, yeah, I think Starlight Zone is just... I think it was originally like the first fully designed stage for Sonic 1 in its development. Because it kind of has all the features. It has bumpers. It has lots of half pipe slopes to test the physics. You know, it feels like a feature complete stage. Like if you were making a game, it'd be like the minimum viable product.
Right.
So.
But see, though, I don't know.
Go ahead.
This is kind of almost ignoring what you say, but I don't like. I just want to go back to talking about like the hated zones like Marble and Labyrinth real quick.
Okay.
I think people forget that like at least in Sonic 3, you know, the best one, it is literally can be described as Sonic 2 level design combined with Sonic 1 level design in all ways possible. So you get something open and explorative like Green Hill, you get something with a ton of platforming like Marble, and you get something speedy like Chemical Plant for every single stage of Sonic 3. And I think it hits all those elements just perfectly. So it's like, it always bothers me that no one likes the platforming stages in this, because sure, they don't really have any speed sections, but I still think they're a lot of fun. And they get the platforming down pretty well.
And you know, they help you master just basic movement, so you're not like a brain dead Sonic player that just holds right to win. You know, which, you know, you can't really do in Sonic 2, but it's definitely more accessible to players like that.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases. But I will say, as someone who later, like, I played Sonic 2 as like the speed game for a long time, just ignoring Chaos Emeralds. I am getting fucked by this pit, by the way.
Everyone does. I hate this pit. This is the real pit of death. Sonic 2 be damned.
You see me crouching, I'm like frustrated. Like, yeah, a lot of little crap happens to me in Sonic Origins, especially in Sonic 2. But we'll get to that when we get to it. But anyways, I kind of want to talk more about the Sonic 2 level design, because it is accessible to just play as a speed game, but it is also surprisingly explorative. Like, it still has the classic Sonic staple of, you know, multiple pathways and secret goodies to find. And it's especially the case when you are hunting emeralds. If you're not like me and get all the emeralds in Emerald Hill, there are hidden, like, checkpoints in areas to find, pretty similar to how you'd find special stage rings in Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Right.
And it encourages replayability. It also encourages, like, getting better at not, like, getting hit, which a player that's just playing for speed is going to be getting hit a lot if they're just holding right to win. So I think, I don't know, these games are designed kind of to be satisfying to play in both ways, whether you're just casually speeding through or whether you want to go for 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, I got all the emeralds already.
Huzzah.
Yeah. That's
Man, almost every time I play them, I have to get them all in Starlight.
Well,
I'm bad at getting rings in some of these, in Spring Yard and Labyrinth especially.
Yeah.
Spring Yard always fucks me over in some way or another.
Yeah, I was worried I wasn't gonna get the ring in that last stage because I got hit by the Buzz Bomber. But no, it ended up working out. There's a lot of rings if you need them to, you know, explore around. I swear this path up here, this top left path, is not designed for Sonic. it's
in a
like,
game where you could only play as Sonic, yes, of course.
Yeah, it's because, like, it's this awkward jump, and in the original you don't have the spin dash,
right?
So you cannot get any speed on that slope to make that jump. And
yeah, you have to be very precise and use all the acceleration you can get beforehand.
Yeah, it's like the most precise jump in the whole game.
Well, that's why no one plays this game without the spin dash anyways.
Yeah, the spin dash kind of breaks Sonic 1 in half.
I'm okay with that.
It's a good breaking in half, I will say.
That's like what the drop dash does in Sonic 3. If I may say so. You start using it and you're like, man, why was this never here before?
Exactly.
The drop dash is still here in Sonic 1, but not as impactful as just adding only a spin dash, you know?
Yeah. It doesn't help that in Origins the drop dash.
What happened to your audio?
That's another Origins glitch. The music just stopped because I got a life right at the end of the invincibility theme, and the game got confused and didn't start replaying the stage music.
Alright, well, we got it back at least.
Yeah. Don't worry. Sonic 2 is full of that kind of stuff when we get to that.
Oh boy. Oh, you almost died there.
No, I never died of this boss. But the drop dash in Sonic Origins kind of sucks, except in Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Sonic CD. And that's because in the original Sonic 1 and 2, and even 3 and Knuckles, whenever you jumped out of a roll, your jump arc would be locked. Right. So you couldn't influence Sonic's direction in midair at all. And they changed that for Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
One of the things that screws me over every time I play Mania.
Yeah. And they changed that for Sonic 3 and Knuckles for Sonic Origins because they had a competent team working on that, even though they were rushed for time.
You trying to say something there?
Yeah. I'm trying to say that Sonic team doesn't understand what this engine is doing at all. But
are you saying the guys who made 06 don't know how to do something? I'm shocked and appalled.
Well, you say that, but like not even anyone that worked on 06 other than Iizuka is still at Sonic Team.
Yeah, well, no one who worked on these games is around.
Yeah, even
other than
like
Iizuka, but I don't know how much he actually did for Sonic 3, to be fair. So
Sonic 3 was like the first game Iizuka even worked on.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't know how much he worked on. That's what I was getting at.
He I believe he was in charge of coding the cutscenes in that game. His specific one that he talks about in interviews is the opening cutscene with Knuckles punching the emeralds out of Supersonic. I don't know what else he did, to be honest. But I'm surprised that he's still with Sonic all these years later, and he's even got promoted to like the absolute like lead executive for the Sonic brand now, which is very neat.
Almost everyone's usually gone by this point. Like even the famed composer of Final Fantasy has kind of stepped away from composing for those games at this point. So it's like Izuka's definitely dedicated. I'll give him that.
Yeah. And speaking of composers, like Jun Sonoy isn't even like an active part of the Sonic brand anymore. Like he does events and he'll do the odd spin-off here and there. Like
I mean, to be fair, he wasn't even that active before. He only really did stuff for Sonic Adventure through Shadow. That was about it. I guess Black Knight as well, but from what I can tell, he didn't really do much for 3. So
he was he at least for like Secret Rings 06, not Unleashed because there's no song for that. Well, actually, for Unleashed, he picked the singer for Endless Possibilities.
Oh, and I'm assuming that singer is the reason that Endless Possibilities isn't even on Spotify, though.
Yeah, probably. But
I noticed that the other day. I was like, well, damn. Thank you, Nathan Sharp, for uploading your version.
But at least during that time, up until like after Black Knight, or up until Black Knight, Jun Sonoy was still doing Crush 40 stuff.
Yeah, I don't know why that stopped, but
well, it's just because Jun Sonoy is not the music director for the Sonic brand anymore. He does work for it occasionally. Like I said, he'll do spin-offs. The Team Sonic Racing soundtrack is amazing.
Yes.
But like he's just not really around for Sonic, for mainline games at least.
He still works for Sega though. I think his most recent credit I saw him for was a Hatsune Miku spin-off mobile game.
Amazing.
Yeah, I guess did the music for the menus for that, which, you know what? Good menu music. I didn't really play much of the game though. It's a gacha game, so not necessarily my thing.
Love those. Absolutely fucking love.
I kept trying to get into Genshin, but like their recent win at Game Awards kind of ruined Genshin for me forever.
Yeah, cut to the clip of my reaction to that.
Is that a clip? Do we have that? Do we have that? Because now you got to put it in.
I have that. It's I used it in a video on my channel.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways. We'll get the Frontiers at least eventually. I don't think we'll ever touch Genshin.
Well, because you're not going to play it, so only I would play it, and I'm probably not going to play it.
Yeah, so...
You won't touch the long RPGs.
There's a line that we will not cross for certain games for this channel.
I disagree. We're doing Galgun eventually. You don't get a choice over that.
Okay, well, then the line is Genshin Impact. We're never doing Genshin. I'm putting my foot down.
You know what? I'll agree there. But we're going to cross the line on some games.
Alright. Speaking of games, this is Sonic the Hedgehog 1.
Oh yeah, Labyrinth Zone. I haven't said a single thing about it. I like this zone. Yeah, it's grown on me.
We completely skipped over Marble Zone as well.
I like Marble Zone too. I don't like I don't like Spring Yard very much. That's all I have to say there.
I
don't like bouncing levels that much.
I think Scrap Brain is a fun challenge.
Scrap Brain is fun, yeah.
But Labyrinth Zone here is a pretty interesting one because it's like, later on in Sonic lore, we'd get like a focus on like ancient ruins type structures on like Angel Island and stuff. But like Sonic 1 doesn't really have lore, so you're kind of just left speculating as to what all this stuff is. It's kind of just here, like there's Pig and like I think whatever the hell that other thing is, like figures.
These are the gods of flickies.
The flicky gods. See, it kind of looks like on the foreground pieces, the one that is a pig kind of looks more like an owl bird type thing. But it's actually, if you look at the bigger one in the background, it actually looks more like a pig. And in Sonic lore, there's like no pig thing ever. So I don't really get what the significance.
I know oftentimes a lot of this stuff is usually based on some form of Japanese folklore. At least that's how it is at Nintendo. I imagine Sega does a lot of similar stuff, especially with their later increased focus on various cultures of the world, using that for inspiration, like Unleashed and Adventure. But who knows? I have a book on yokai. I'll let you know if I see something like that, I guess.
I think the island of Sonic 1 is kind of more like a, I don't know, like ancient native peoples that are now gone and they were run out because now there's cities and stuff on the island because Eggman exists. But I really don't know. I think
outside of Angel Island, we don't know anything about anything else. So
yeah, West Side Island.
Bad start there.
Is the one from Sonic 2. It kind of was like, it kind of feels like a beta Sonic Angel Island. West Side Island does.
Yeah.
Because like they even removed like a hidden palace type thing, which we got a full-fledged one in Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Real quick, I'm gonna cut you off for a sec. Have you ever killed Eggman in that segment? Because I can't.
Dude, I've
seen people do it, but I cannot figure out how to do it.
When I played this as a kid, when I was much worse at this game, I consistently killed him every time. But now that I can keep myself out of the water, I cannot kill him.
Huh.
So I think what the key is you kind of gotta let yourself drown. Like, let the water catch up, and I think that might slow Eggman down too.
Yeah. That is the one invincibility monitor I always skip because it cuts out the song. And I see you grabbed it, and I hate you for it.
I grab it because there's rings down there, and I like the.
See, I just get the rings, and I skip over the monitor.
Well, I'm down there anyways. I may as well get it.
It's just like, I barely ever get to hear this song because the stage is over really fast. I like this song.
I get it because the Orbinauts, the enemies in the stage are impervious to attack.
Yeah, they're pretty dickish.
Like, the Orbinauts you can only hit if you're invincible, so that means you have to get hit to kill him, or you have to have an invincibility monitor. The bomb enemies, I don't know their fucking names. They are completely invincible until they blow themselves up. So it's kind of
somehow they avoided that in Sonic 2. They just had worse hitboxes, and then in Sonic 3 they decided to bring it back just for the fucking Orbinaut, which you would think is what the Bubbles, which you would think is what the Insta Shield's for, but no.
Yeah, and even then, the Orbinaut you can still kill. I think it's interesting to have like a level with indestructible badniks. Because I don't know, it's a change of pace, because in every other context, if you're in ball mode, Sonic wins. So it's kind of interesting. Oh yeah, I missed like a 50 ring secret up there because I fell onto the bottom path.
You don't need it. You don't need it. For anyone who doesn't know, there are 50 rings up there. Because this is the last stage you can get a special ring on. It's just a freebie. There are no enemies after it. You get the special stage. Here you go. But yeah.
I just brought it up because I never missed that, and I fell onto the bottom path in this playthrough. I guess that's just the recording curse or whatever.
Yeah, recording curse hit hard on Sonic and Knuckles for me, so have fun with that.
Oh, I will. I will have tons of fun.
Sonic
But,
3 was good though. Sonic 3 was great. Sonic and Knuckles though. Oh my gosh. Whew.
Yeah, it's like an easier half of the game. And you'd somehow
Fuck
get worse
off.
on it.
Shut the fuck up.
Though I will say, I'll save that discussion for Sonic 3. But
We'll get to it pretty quickly.
Yeah, we're already nearing the end of this game because Sonic 1 is not a very short game. It's not a very long game. I mean, it's kind of
it makes it a fun bite-sized adventure though, so I still like it like this.
Yeah, I love, like, I have a lot of games, like, my most replayed games are the ones that are really short and easy to just complete in one session. So, like, this, pretty much every classic Sonic game, like, the Mega Man X, and other stuff like that, like, I can just sit down, play it from start to finish, and just have a really good time throughout the whole thing.
See, I like having multiple sessions, so I still like the single play games, but multiple sessions is also really fun.
Yeah,
it just gives me something to look forward to when I get back home later, especially in the recent Doom playthrough I've had. Oof.
Yeah, for some reason, for certain games, I have to stop after like 2 hours of playtime just to take a break. I don't know if that's just because I know the game is like another 10 hours long or whatever, but it's like I can't sit down and play long games for a super long time. Unless, it's like a new game that I haven't actually played before that I was really excited for, like Sonic Frontiers. Because I played that game from start to finish in the span of 2 days. It took me like 16 hours non-stop.
Okay, so real quick, back to Sonic Genesis. So those the spinning wheels that you were on earlier, they work differently in that game. And every time I play this, it still fucks me over to get the timing down on it. They like don't knock you off when you jump on them. It's weird, but they're broken as hell.
I haven't played Sonic Genesis in a long time.
You'll see it whenever I play it.
I don't even know if I ever beat that version of Sonic 1 because it was, a game I had as a kid on my Game Boy, and I've had no desire to go back to play it.
You should.
So,
I rebought it for that purpose. I paid money for this game in 2023. Aren't I smart?
Yeah. Don't worry, it'll get put on the Switch Online service.
If they put Sonic Genesis on there, I'm so happy.
They'll put that on there, but not Sonic Advance. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I wonder if Dimps may have some licensing issues. Who knows?
Well, it's not Dimps, actually. It's Sonic Advance 1 and 2 specifically have rights issues with, I think they're, it's like THQ or something like that.
Oh, I guess THQ used to have a lot of GBA games, especially like licensed movie titles.
Yeah, it's kind of a similar situation because THQ or whatever, I'm looking it up. It's THQ. They actually publish the game instead of SEGA, which is baffling to say the least. I think it's just because they were partnered with Dimps, or Dimps was a developer for THQ, so it kind of makes sense. I don't know what changed for Sonic Advance 3, because Sonic Advance 3 I don't believe has those issues. But Sonic Advance 1 and 2 are all owned by, or not owned by, they have partial rights to THQ, which is why they never have been re-released, except on the Wii U in Japan.
I actually found out recently, Dimps is still making games. It's just not really much original titles. The last one I saw was an SAO game for the Gun Gale Online arc.
Yeah,
I might try it just because fuck it, SAO's bad and that kind of sounds dumb.
You see that freaking
yeah.
bounce?
You should have made that.
I should have made it, but my ball jump was locked. That would have been a sick like speedrun trick there, but no. I have.
Isn't it unlocked in the Taxman versions?
No.
Okay.
In the Taxman versions, it's still locked, but there's no like drop dash in those. So like the only time you have to worry about jumping out of a roll in the classics is if there's like a pit or something that you need to jump over while you're rolling. But when you have the drop dash, you feel the need to like drop dash, jump again, drop dash again, jump again.
Right.
But you cannot turn Sonic around when you do that because of the jump block. So it makes the drop dash a lot more useless. But yeah, final boss.
Oh shit!
Wait, no.
Oh, it's done already.
Yeah, I forgot about Labyrinth Zone Act 4.
We all do. We all wish we could.
Honestly, it's a neat little like backtrack kind of, cuz
To me, this is the developers being self-aware. They knew how hard Labyrinth was and were like, we can bring it back. And they did. They actually did it, and it's I hate this. I hate this so much.
I think it's partly that, and it's also partly like we were talking about the lore earlier. Like if you're just looking at Sonic 1 as its own standalone little thing, you can tell there's like a Eggman taking over with technology kind of vibe to the island. And this kind of shows that Scrap Brain is built on top of Labyrinth Zone in a way. I don't know why he built it on top of an ancient underwater temple, but it's a thing.
Well, it's Eggman, so, or Robotnik, whatever you want to call him in the classics.
What do you think about this boss here?
It is a boss.
You know, it is definitely a boss. It's like
this is very 5 out of 10. I have no opinions on this.
It's like
it is a boss. It's there. It's like any other Sonic boss. I'm like, I don't care.
It's like one of the most boring classic Sonic bosses because in most other classic Sonic bosses, you can hit the thing whenever you want to speed
I'll disagree.
it up.
What about the top spinning thing in Sonic 3? I think that's a lot more egregious than this.
Top spinning thing? Oh, you mean like the mini boss guy?
Yeah. That is worse to me.
Well, this you have to wait like it's like 10 seconds between each hit. It's like really
but I don't know. It just feels tense to me because there's no rings. You know, it's constantly shooting you. I'm like, I know I'll be perfect at this. I'm not gonna die or anything, but still, you know, it makes it more tense.
True.
Oh well. So it just feels better for me.
It's a no rings boss in a boss where the main obstacle is crushing, so rings wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
And with the spin dash makes that boss a complete joke because, like in the original, you couldn't just spin dash from one side to the other to avoid the electric balls. You pretty much had to find a spot in between the electric projectiles to like avoid them. But with the spin dash, you can just cheese it pretty much.
Now in this version, if you press jump, does it mess up the playthrough here on the credits?
You know, I had a feeling you were actually going to ask that, and that's another thing I've never tested with Sonic Origins.
Because I have to know if this is the definitive way, because if you can't, then this isn't definitive. I'm sorry, you gotta play it on Genesis then.
It's really already not the definitive way to play Sonic 1. But, you know, for like a casual, I think the Sonic Origins ports are fine.
Okay, well, like, if you're dedicated enough to Sonic to care about the definitive way to play Sonic 1, you already are not going to play this, so... I think it's just a moot point there.
You say that, but I played this. You know...
I mean, you're gonna play the version you like the most. You know? You're already gonna have it, so I don't think it really matters. As long as it works mostly fine for a casual playthrough, then I think that's what makes it the definitive way, you know? Because it's what most people are going to play. And if this is someone's first experience with Sonic 1, I think they're going to have the same time that they would have had if they played it on Genesis. Maybe slightly better because widescreen, but I don't think it really affects that much in these games.
Yeah, everyone says it's like, oh, it gives you a lot more, room to see, but if you're moving super fast, it's not going to give you much more reaction time.
Yeah.
What would do that is if they did the Sonic Rush thing and had Sonic at the left side of the screen, so you get a lot more screen real estate in front of Sonic, whichever direction he's running, when he's at speed.
I'm going to cut you off real quick because I just got a comment. I love that piano ending there, where it just plays the original theme. I think it's great. I love it.
Oh yeah. The animated cutscenes in this are like the one addition to the Sonic Origins ports that make it worth it.
By the way, I completely forgot about the Origins intro and outro as well, so we're just not going to see those.
It's fine. They can look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, you guys suck.
You guys are literally already on YouTube. Just go to the search bar right above this video and type in Sonic Origins intro and outro. You will not be disappointed. Yeah. You can't go wrong with Tyson Hess animation.